Alright, back to this. In the previous part, we actually got to the, two alternate, and not even alternate, because, all the endings are kind of their own thing. But we got two more endings in the game. The first ending being the Dreamscape ending, which came from this. The second and third, we should talk about that. What the Dreamscape ending entailed was that, the MC and Monika's relationship succeeded, and that ultimately also Sayori was kind of intrinsically like a part of that, given she's like a mediator and is like, she was kind of the one who got them to get together to begin with, in a sense. And she's also the one who wants to ensure that they succeed or whatnot. So, and we saw that with the visions or dream sequences of the future with the MC and Monika and their like first year anniversary or whatnot, the beach, with Sayori being there as well. So granted, unfortunately, that means likely, Yuri Natsuki fell out of the picture. Obviously, they graduated, so the club ended or whatnot, but still their relationship was strong and going and like kicking, right? For these other two endings, because it's one ending but two perspectives, but the game lists as like two separate endings. For the next two endings, which I should actually specify where, because clicking this top option leads to the Dreamscape ending, and thank God I clicked that one first. This clicking the bottom option leads to the these two endings or whatnot. And ultimately, for the other two endings, the main difference being that the MC's relationship with Monika doesn't succeed because the MC's dead. Like, he dies. He's dead. Like, we got this screen, and given that there were multiple perspectives, that was like kind of a red flag. It's like, oh, why would they do that if it were not for like someone's death sequence or whatnot, with the other perspective being able to push beyond that? And that's exactly what happened. We saw the MC's perspective of him dying and then going to the afterlife or whatnot on this train. Then we saw Monika's perspective of, her meeting with Sayori, ultimately seeing the MC, and then still having the call with him, because that was the one thing that happened in both. But yeah, that's what that entailed. So in the Dreamscape ending, their relationship succeeds or whatnot, and they continue at it for like at least a year. In this ending, however, the MC just straight up dies. Like, he doesn't survive. He's dead. Like, that's it. Because we've been saying the baseline minimum was kind of ensuring the stability of the club, right? But that ending pushed the baseline minimum even lower, and that baseline minimum is surviving. So, like, if the MC can't survive, then, like, we don't know what now. I think, though, I'm gonna go off on a limb and say this is the only ending where the MC dies. That's, if like, the MC dies in half the endings, because we've hit 3 out of 10 endings so far. Because for whatever reason, they classify both perspectives as a different ending. But I'm willing to say, that's the only one, or well, technically 2 endings then. Those are the only 2 endings where the MC dies, just because that's, if the MC died in like half the endings, that'd just be a stupid amount. Like, that's not a normal thing. Like, it's not normal to overexert yourself till death. Like, that's not a common thing. Or at least not how the MC did it, but yeah, so this is likely the only ending where he died. I'm willing to go off on a limb, throw that out there and say that. So yeah, that's kind of the previous, because now we gotta put this behind us, right? So now we've went through 3 endings, and they're all behind us now. The Dreamscape ending, which was the first ending we achieved, which was actually, this was the last save that we had for it, which obviously, like I said, MC Monika succeeds, and we know they've been dating for at least a year. With Sayori there as well. Can't forget her. She's intrinsically a part of that relationship or whatnot. Like we said, she's like the mediator, ultimately the one who got us together to begin with and wants us to succeed or whatnot. Then obviously, the endings themselves, I think it was Too Far Gone and Lost Time. That's what I wrote down, so that's what I assume it is. Both of those, with the difference being one's from the MC's perspective and one's from the Monika's perspective. Obviously, the MC overexerts himself till he literally dies. Like, actually. Like, he's unironically dead. And then, yeah, obviously has his last conversation with Monika before he passes into the afterlife. But it's never really, or at least from Monika's perspective, I think it would have been cool if we had, like, a vision of her future or whatnot, maybe a couple or few years in the future. I feel like that was a missed opportunity. But ultimately, we still got sort of her like perspective meeting with Sayori, seeing the MC, and ultimately what happened along with that from her perspective during the whole call. But I really feel like that was a missed opportunity. They really could have, I guess during her perspective, what they should have done. This is probably the biggest missed opportunity of the whole mod so far, because the mod makers are generally smart. They're not. These mod makers are really smart. They put a lot of thought, effort, and time into this. Like, it's very apparent and evident. But I really feel like that was a missed opportunity. It could have literally been like a vision of the future, like 2 or 3 years, or not even a vision, just time skip to 2 or 3 years in the future to see what Monica is doing. Because, either that or just have her commit suicide. Because if you just completely end it off right where they did, then that really doesn't give us any insight into what Monica did, at least specifically for this ending. But yeah, those 3 endings are behind us. Right now, we're at about, I'd say 1 good, 2 bad endings. I would classify these as bad because, like I said, the baseline minimum has been pushed even lower. It's been pushed from ensuring the club's survival to the MC and other characters surviving, like physical survival. Because survival of the club is just in a hypothetical sense. We're talking a literal sense here about characters surviving and just not dying. So that's the new baseline minimum is pretty low, but yeah, putting those 3 endings behind us, what we need to do now is because there is still an alternate choice on the Monica route, and that is this one. Because again, this choice is still on the Monica route, given we clicked Monica here and we had the whole weekend interaction with her. So we're still on the Monica route. And then, however, even though we're on the Monica route, this is still an option or whatnot. Because obviously we clicked Monica, and that led to, this option, which led to those 3 different endings. Yeah, I actually do want to talk a lot about this option, because this option, it's really interesting. Because we need to take into consideration, I think this is I think it's Tuesday in game time, or in game context, because we know these 2 endings, the Dreamscape ending and this ending, and the Lost Time or Too Far Gone ending, both ended Saturday. This is Tuesday in game time, I'm pretty sure. Either Monday or Tuesday in game. No, it is Tuesday, because the MC met with Yuri after the first day when she didn't show up, after Monday when she didn't show up. So yeah, this is Tuesday in game time. But given this option, obviously we're going to click Find Yuri. That raises a few questions. Because, again, we need to take into consideration, we're already at 3 out of 10 endings. And we presumably have a whole nother part of Monica's route to go down. We're only done with about 1/8 of the game. Because Monica's route is 1/4, and then clicking Monica here is like a half of that. So... But yeah, but we already have 3 endings, despite being only through 1/8 of the game. So there's questions to where, okay, where does this lead? And there are a few options to that. One, it leads back to Monica's route, and ultimately, it defaults back to Monica's route somehow, and then we ultimately end up at this decision. And if that's the case, okay, it's a nice side quest, but ultimately there won't be any new endings as a result. The second option is that we click this and we get our own ending as a result. Whether it's with Yuri or Monica or both, depending on what happens here ultimately. If we get our own ending, then, and if it's just one ending, then that's likely that. I'm guessing if this has only one ending, or if this leads to only one ending, it would be a more neutral ending, given we're not really on Yuri's route here. However, if we're ensuring her survival, it seems like we're not putting all our eggs in one basket as we did before. But I'm thinking if it's one route, it would be a somewhat neutral. Or if there's only one ending as a result of clicking this, it'd be a more neutral ending. And then not only that, that ending would also be a part of Monica's route. If the third option is that we click this, and this is, I hinted at this in the previous part, I think, or I touched on it. If we click on this and get multiple endings as a result, because remember, we clicked Find Monica and Get Answers. Okay, that led to its own route. And that led to here, which led to multiple endings. This leads to one ending. This actually leads to two. So if it's a similar scenario to this, where we click this, go a different route for that, and then get another option later on, which leads to two different endings, then that would be at least 5 endings in Monika's route. Because then the question is like, okay, if we click Yuri here, will there be some overlap with Yuri's route? Because if not, I feel like that's kind of, listen, I'm a Monika fan or whatnot, right? But 5 endings for, I mean, come on. Like, just throwing that out there, like, being 100% honest. Like, that's half the endings in the game. However, if we click Yuri, my guess is that if there are multiple endings stemming from this option, then there will likely be some overlap with Yuri's route. So those are the 3 options. Again, either it somehow defaults back to Monika's route. This was like a side quest or whatnot. It defaults back to this. Or we click this and we get our own ending, or it gets one ending, which will likely be a neutral ending and stay a part of Monika's route. Or the third option, we get multiple endings, like 2 even. Alright, yeah, I'd say 2 makes sense given this. Then ultimately, you know, the question's like, okay, is there some overlap with Yuri's route? Given then the implication is, okay, Monika's route has 5 different endings. But obviously, since this was in the game, or since this takes place earlier in the game than this, it'll take more than one part to get to whatever ending this entails, right? Because, like, I completed the Dreamscape ending, and then within another day completed the Too Far Gone and Lost Time ending. Granted, it took 2 recordings, but still, this is going to take obviously longer, given I'm pretty sure this was, yeah, this was the next day. I think this is Wednesday in game time. Yeah, I think this is Wednesday in game time. And then this is Tuesday in game. No, I think this is actually Thursday. I have no clue. Yeah, I don't know. All I know is that right now, because obviously this is like, I need to sort of, we need to establish where we are in the game, given we're jumping around everywhere. This is Tuesday in-game time. In-game time Tuesday. Because, yeah. Because this was, because the MC had the conversation with Yuri Monday night, given she didn't show up that day, and that's when she quit and reached out to the MC. This is either Wednesday or Thursday in game time. However, that's obviously, you know, we need to see where this leads us. And after nearly 12 minutes of talking, we're finally gonna click, okay, skip. Yuri's clearly in trouble. I think this is interesting, because remember, at this point, this is actually immediately after the MC gave Monika the poem. So, ultimately, because I was speculating here, you know, this really is a false, I was saying for such a long time, this choice that we have is a false dichotomy, and that we can help both, but obviously we picked one. We need to pick one. My rationale for picking Monika initially is that, okay, we need to ensure that she's a part of the club before we can help Yuri. Granted, the MC did that, and then never ended up helping Yuri, so maybe this is the better option. Because Monika eventually needs to come back to the club, right? She can't just ditch, given she's the leader. And especially given we learned that, you know, the club's kind of all she has. At least in the Too Far Gone and Lost Time ending. So, it's almost, we really didn't need to go see her, because she would come back eventually. Yuri, however, we know doesn't. So that's why we're going to see her now. She might be on the brink of doing something horrible. That is true. Sorry, Monika, you have to wait. But obviously, we're only going to go to one. I burst out of the school doors. Oh, yeah, this is definitely different, because we saw Monika in the hallway. I don't know how he found both of them, right? Yuri was just about to leave. Okay, so we did find Yuri. So this is definitely making it seem like, okay, it's kind of gonna, like, it's not gonna default back to the Monika route. It'll branch off to its own thing. Because I was worrying it was gonna be some troll where it's like, oh, I can't find Yuri, I'll just go look for Monika, or something along those lines. But that's clearly not it, right? So yeah, and again, we know Monika's sort of plan, at least from, well, actually just Monika's round in general, not necessarily the Dreamscape ending or the Too Far Gone Lost Time ending. We know that basically her plan was to get the MC to come look for her and have Natsuki intercept so that they could kind of, or that so that she could kind of reveal everything. Or that he could reveal everything to her while Monika was there or whatnot. So this kind of throws her plan out the window. But then it was also like, she said her excuse was almost like, okay, she was practicing piano. If that was a legitimate reason, or if that was a legitimate excuse, then she will show up anyway. So, Yuri, as I run up to her, she quickly wipes her face with her sleeve. And again, because Yuri never showed up today, so we just left on a whim to try and find her, given our conversation yesterday during, at midnight or whatnot. Oh, hey, MC. What happened? You look distraught. My volume was low. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm fine, yeah. What you heard last night totally wasn't a thing, right? It was just a dream. Yuri's eyes are bloodshot from all her crying. Her voice shakes as she speaks, and her smile is anything but genuine. I'm not an idiot, Yuri. I saw you crying out here. But Oh, he just ran up on her. Because again, it's not like Yuri showed up to the club and then ran off, and the MC chased after her. It's that neither Yuri nor Monica showed up to the club, and he had to choose whether to try and go look for one of them. So, if something's wrong, you need to tell me. No, nothing's wrong. What she told you last night, totally not a thing. It's nothing, MC. You really don't have to worry. Because he's saying this, but he knows about her problems and issues. Because he learned about them last night. Yuri's voice breaks as she speaks. She can barely talk. I notice her sleeve is soaked with tears. It's too red for that. Okay, that's actually a red flag there. So that's basically confirmation for the MC. At least if he does something, he'll probably just pull up her sleeve and see it, right? That'll basically be confirmation that, oh, she's not lying. She's being serious, 100%. But yeah, and again, I think taking a step back for a moment before we just delve completely into basically a 180 and go down Yuri's route. Because I've talked about Yuri, right, the current state with her. So she missed yesterday, which was Monday. She spoke with the MC at midnight, revealed her issues and problems, and then ultimately didn't show up to the club, so the MC went to go find her. Monica, the MC still spent time with her during the weekend on Sunday. That was the thing. And then ultimately he gave her the poem Monday or whatnot, which caused her to run off and kind of isolate herself. And then she never showed up today. So that's kind of the state of her, but obviously, it's seeming like we're no longer on her route. However, this is still obviously something, this is what we've chosen. This is the option we've chosen. We're not on her route, but we're technically on her route. It's like 50-50. Yuri suddenly falls to the bench crying. I sit next to her, gently patting her back. Because the MC probably just blatantly looked at her sleeve and she knew she got caught. We have to click. Alright, after a few minutes, she slowly cradles her hand on my shoulder, sobbing quietly. What the hell am I supposed to do? First, confirm that, her sleeve is actually red with blood as opposed to anything else. Lift off her sleeve. See, oh, those are cuts. Yeah. That won't help. Wait, what? Was he responding to me? No, it's better than nothing. What's going on here? Back when I was a kid, I used to get hurt quite a lot. Okay, so he was just thinking of some random story or whatnot to tell her. Yuri remained silent. Her sobbing is slowed. Keep going. I would go exploring in the park or the woods near my house. I would come home crying my eyes out at even the tiniest cuts. My mom would always help me through it, putting a band-aid on me and holding me until I stopped crying. That's not going to work with these cuts, though. Yuri stopped shaking and buries her head deeper. But when I grew older, I grew distant with my parents. So whenever I got hurt, I'd start picking myself up, keeping all the tears and sadness bottled up inside. Being a man, what's that? I don't know, as my dad would call it. He didn't have Sayori because he kind of, because we know sort of one of the interesting backstory, features for this mod is that the MC was childhood friends with Sayori, but then cut off ties with her. He didn't continue being friends, or at least friends in terms of the Act 1 sense or whatnot. But then, so much so to the point where he didn't even remember her name. But then they got reconnected through the club. It was in those times that I realized how much I had lost. It was then that I would realize just how alone I really was. That is, until I was like, whoa, hold up. How much time has he spent with Yuri? Because this is, real sudden. He spent, one day and hold on, let's look at our load saves. He didn't actually spend that much time with her. Wow, so Yuri was actually the first person he spent time with. I don't know, though. Yeah, he hasn't spent that much time with Yuri. He has a couple interactions here, before the route started. And we knew he read with her during, Saturday or whatnot at the library. And then we know he had this sort of conversation with her at midnight, in the school, at night when she revealed her issues and problems. But that's it. It's not significant time like Monica, where he spent basically the whole weekend with her, just throwing that out there. Yuri slowly raises her eyes to meet mine. You're the only person who cared for me when I was down. Wait, okay, I think I see where this is going. I think I see. Okay, I kind of need to explain what's going on, because I think it's painfully obvious. Because I was like, where is this coming from? Like, the MC hasn't spent time with her. Like, he straight up hasn't. Like, again, like I said, it was only these two interactions, spending time with her reading Saturday, and then when she told him about her issues and problems at midnight. There is overlap with this and the Yuri route. This text is for the MC going Yuri's route. This is supposed to be for if he were to spend time with Yuri Sunday, and then presumably also up until when she revealed her issues and problems to them. We are on the Yuri's route. We jumped from Monica's route to Yuri's route by picking this option. Hold on, I need to save this somewhere. Let's save the game. We jumped... Okay, wrong page. We jumped from Monica's route to Yuri's route by picking this option. By picking this option, we assumed that we had been on Yuri's... Oh, that was a bit of lag. On Yuri's route this whole time. Like, we would likely click Yuri here and then make it up to where we are currently now. We just... And then there's also another interesting implication for that, is that if we do Yuri's route, or if we go on Yuri's route here, then ultimately when confronted with this, we'll likely be confronted with this very same option. And if we pick Monica, we'll jump on her route. Because I think that's what this is. This is... Because this text makes no sense in the context of Monica's route. So the only logical explanation is that this is supposed to be for Yuri's route. I think that's obvious, right? I don't think there's any other conclusion we can draw, because it really is like, he really hasn't spent, like, this just came off all of a sudden, right? And then he's like, you're the only person who cared for me when I was down. He hasn't spent that much time with her in the context of the Monica route. Then it's literally only these two interactions, whatever they are. I think these are like back-to-back day interactions. When he read with her Saturday, and then when he learned about her issues and problems during and the school at night or whatnot. But that's in the context of Monica's route. If in the context of Yuri's route, he likely did more. He likely spent the whole Sunday with her, and ultimately likely also spent time with her Monday. Given that in Monica's route, she didn't show up Monday, right? And that was what was sort of cause for concern. But maybe that's different in the Yuri route. So we completely jumped ship. We are now on Yuri's route. I think that's the only logical deduction, right? Here's the thing. I'm actually going to test my theory. Because we have this. I think it's painfully obvious right now that, at least with these three lines, that we are on Yuri's route. So as opposed to continue on, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go back to here and click Yuri, because I really think we were on Yuri's route there. And I think it would be a waste if I were to continue on, given we were on Yuri's route, without the backstory that comes as a result. I think that's really interesting. So, because that is... Like, let's just look at it one more time, because I think this is effectively confirmation. These last three lines, given it's basically a confession, I think this is evidence or like confirmation that we are on Yuri's route, and that we just completely jumped from Monica's to Yuri's route as a result of picking Yuri here. I really think we are on Yuri's route right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back here, click Yuri. Given that, again, this is assuming we're on Yuri's route, so I can get the backstory necessary for these lines to make sense. I think that's a lot. I think that's reasonable, right? Because I really do think we're on Yuri's route here. I'm just throwing that out there. So, yeah, that's interesting. That's really interesting. Because at first I was confused, and then I'm like, oh, I see. We're on Yuri's route. So... that was Tuesday in game time, right? This decision was Tuesday in game time. Given Yuri never showed up Monday, and then we had a conversation with her, and then same with Monica. We showed her the poem, and then she fled. That all happened Monday. This is Tuesday in game time. This is going into Sunday in game time. So we're gonna click Yuri here, get all the backstory necessary for her route, and then hopefully pick up here. There is a possibility that there's a possibility that this is not Yuri's route. However, this confession makes no sense unless we are on Yuri's route. So I really think that's what I'm going to do here. That's what I'm going to do. I didn't expect to do this. I didn't expect it would immediately transition over to Yuri's route, because that's what it's entailing here, right? And it's very likely we'll get this exact same choice ultimately. So yeah, I'm going to click Yuri here. If we're not on Yuri's route, or if it's evident that, this isn't on Yuri's route, then I'll just come back here and finish it off. But I think it'd be very weird. Like, this is very weird unless we were on Yuri's route. So, yeah, let's go back here, click Yuri, get all the backstory necessary. For some reason I find myself drawn to Yuri, because I really think that's what it is. But I think it would be a waste to go through that unless we were to get the backstory from Yuri's route or whatnot. I think there's much more to her, and she lets on. Okay. Chapter 3, Honest Hearts. Okay. Oh my god. I thought it was Sunday, again with the alarm on weekends. I suddenly remember the dream from last night. Did that really... Please turn off the alarm. Certainly like to meet with Yuri again. Maybe I should ask her to meet me somewhere. I highly doubt she asked me 2 days in a row. Yeah, because she asked him to read with him in the library, like, at midnight last night, and he somehow remembered. Granted, she was the last one he spent time with, but well, no, Sayori was. She was second to last, but he just collapses. Okay. Forgot about my boss battle with the stairs yesterday. Okay, because, yeah, that was with him and Natsuki. Because he mentioned the rap in, like, the Lost Time, or what would you call it, Too Far Gone ending. And I was like, when the hell did that happen? When did he use, like, a rap with Natsuki? And this was all the way back here in the mod. Ultimately, when he fell down the stairs trying to meet Natsuki. The intrusive sun hurts my eyes as it always does. I shuffle my hand around the floor. Where's my phone? You keep your phone on the floor? I feel a cold metallic surface. Found it. Still laying down, I hold the phone up above my face and slowly draft a text. Hey Yuri, you want to hang out again today? I had a lot of fun yesterday. I hit send, the phone slips out of my hand. Rip. Screen hits my head right on the wound. Damn it. The sensation and pain sends me to my feet and into the bathroom. So the wound's on the front, his forehead then, because we assumed it was on the back of his head. I guess it's kind of irrelevant, right? It's head. Remove the wrap and look at the gash in all its hideousness. So this was the wrap that Natsuki put on him that he was referring to in the Too Far Gone Lost Time ending. I completely forgot about this until, like, I remembered. I was like, to my surprise, it's almost healed. I think I could go without a hat today, without wearing a beanie in, like, 70-degree weather. Okay, so she responded. The phone lights up in the bathroom counter. Text from Yuri. I have nothing planned. Where were you thinking? Good question. We weren't thinking anywhere. Crap. I suddenly realized that I had no plans on a destination. You'd figure it along. I'm actually going to transition here because it's nearly 30 minutes. I think that's really interesting. Again, I'm actually going to save this right now. I'm saving this here because I really do think, I think these 3 lines are indicative of Yuri's route in that we just completely transitioned over to her route. And that, I really think we are now effectively on her route given we were to click this. And I think it doesn't make sense to continue unless we get the backstory for that, right? I feel like that's logical. So that's why I'm doing this. It very well may not be, but that's what it's seeming like. So yeah, I'm going to transition here.